Welcome to the Spiritual Clinic, where we explore the pivotal moments that shaped church history. Today we're discussing the Council of Trent, a monumental gathering that marked a turning point in the history of Christianity. What brought this council together? Who took part? And why was it such an imperative for the church? Let's dive in. The Council of Trent was a series of ecumenical meetings held between 1545 and 1563, convened by the Roman Catholic Church in response to the Protestant Reformation. The Reformation, sparked by figures like Martin Luther, challenged the authority, practices and doctrines of the Catholic Church, leading to widespread religious upheaval across Europe. By the early 16th century, the Catholic Church faced immense pressure to address these challenges. Calls for reform were growing louder, not just from Protestant reformers, but from within the Church itself. The Church needed to clarify its teachings, reform its practices, and combat the spread of Protestantism. This is what ultimately led to the Council of Trent. The need for a council was recognized long before it was convened. The Protestant Reformation began in 1517 when Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses to the church door in Wittenberg, criticizing the church's sale of indulgences and other practices. This act ignited a religious revolution that spread rapidly across Europe. The Catholic Church realized that it needed a unified response. However, political tensions, wars and disputes over where and how the council should be held delayed its gathering for nearly 3 decades. It wasn't until 1545, under Pope Paul III, that the council finally began in the city of Trent in northern Italy. The Council of Trent was attended by a wide range of Catholic clergy, including bishops, cardinals and theologians. While the majority of participants were Italian, representatives from Spain, France and other Catholic nations also took part. The council sessions were overseen by several popes over its 18-year duration, starting with Pope Paul III and continuing under Popes Julius III and Pius IV. While the Protestant reformers were invited to participate, they largely refused due to disagreements over the council's structure and agenda. As a result, the Council of Trent became primarily a Catholic endeavour, aimed at addressing the crisis within the Church and reaffirming its doctrines. The Council of Trent was held in the city of Trent, which lies in modern-day northern Italy. The location was chosen as a compromise between the Holy Roman Empire and the Papal States, as it was in the heart of the empire, but still under significant papal influence. The council met in several sessions over 3 distinct periods: 1545 to 1547, 1551 to 1552, and 1562 to 1563. The lengthy gaps between sessions were due to political conflicts, outbreaks of plague, and other challenges. Despite these interruptions, the council ultimately produced a series of decrees that would shape the Catholic Church for centuries. The Council of Trent's decisions covered a wide range of theological and disciplinary issues. Let's highlight some of the most significant first scripture and tradition. The Council reaffirmed the Catholic Church's view that both Scripture and tradition are essential sources of divine revelation. This was a direct response to the Protestant principle of or Scripture alone. Second, the canon of Scripture. The Council confirmed the inclusion of the deuterocanonical books, which Protestants had rejected as part of the biblical canon. This decision solidified the Catholic Bible as we know it today. Third, justification and grace. One of the most contentious issues of the Reformation was the doctrine of justification, how a person is made righteous before God. The Council upheld the Catholic teaching that justification involves both faith and works, rejecting the Protestant belief in justification by faith alone. Fourth, the sacraments. The Council reaffirmed the existence of 7 sacraments and emphasized their necessity for salvation. The sacraments of the Eucharist and penance were given special attention, with clear teachings on transubstantiation and the importance of confession. Fifth, clerical reform. To address widespread corruption and abuses within the clergy, the council implemented strict reforms. These included the establishment of seminaries for the proper training of priests and measures to ensure that bishops resided in their dioceses. Lastly, liturgy and worship. The council standardized the Mass, leading to the development of the Tridentine Mass, which remained the norm in the Catholic Church until the 20th century. Latin was reaffirmed as the liturgical language, and the use of vernacular languages was discouraged. The Council of Trent had profound and lasting effects on the Catholic Church. It marked the beginning of the Counter-Reformation, a period of Catholic revival aimed at countering the spread of Protestantism. The Council's decrees provided the Church with a clear doctrinal foundation, which helped to unify and strengthen it during a time of significant challenge. The reforms of Trent also had a lasting impact on Catholic education, art and culture. The Council's emphasis on clarity and order in doctrine led to the development of the Roman Catechism, which guided Catholic teaching for centuries. The Council also influenced the Baroque art and architecture that became associated with the Catholic Counter-Reformation, emphasizing grandeur and devotion. The Council of Trent was imperative for the Catholic Church because it addressed the theological and moral challenges that had been building for decades. The Protestant Reformation had shaken the foundations of the Church, and without a decisive response, the Catholic Church risked losing its influence and unity. By convening the Council, the Church was able to clarify its teachings, reform its practices, and reassert its authority. The decisions made at Trent not only countered Protestant criticisms, but also addressed internal issues that had long plagued the Church, such as clerical corruption and lax discipline. In doing so, the Council helped to renew the Church from within and set the stage for its resurgence in the centuries that followed. The Council of Trent remains one of the most important events in Church history. Its decisions continue to influence Catholic doctrine and practice to this day. By reaffirming the Church's teachings and implementing crucial reforms, the Council ensured the survival and renewal of the Catholic Church during a time of great turmoil. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this video insightful, please like, share and subscribe to The Spiritual Clinic. Let's continue exploring the rich heritage of our faith together. Until next time, stay blessed.